Wait, wait a second. Someone's bro? Wait a second. I thought that was Sumo that did that. Hey, welcome to the stream. You're about to see a platinum pop if I can keep the helicopter from killing the colonel. There's a better way to do this, but well, okay. There's another way to do this. You steal a tank or you carry some you knock someone out and you carry their body and put them in the middle of the road because they'll get out and they'll be like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And while they're doing that, then you can it's tough to figure out, okay, how am I going to stop these tanks when I have literally nothing, you know? But the game gives you enough ways to interact with the environment, and it gives you enough tools at your disposal to kind of like, affect the environment. That if you just like think a little bit, might be able to you'll figure it out. And this is when the game doesn't let you use anything, like no equipment, no buddies, no airstrikes. Like the game takes almost everything away from you, and they're like, okay, now do it. Uh, this mission pretty much only exists because Kojima and Co. couldn't finish the game in time, and we're spending way too much money, and Konami's like, hey, get fucked, Kojima. Here's your pink slip. Don't call us, and we won't call you. So they're like, okay, we only have like 30, we have 33 missions to work with. They're like, well, that's no good. I want 50. I'm like, okay. So they just repeated a bunch of missions with like restrictions, basically. So they took a few missions and ramped up the difficulty, or they took two missions and they said, okay, do this mission without anything. Like you have to collect everything on site. I'm gonna try that again. I'm gonna try it like one or two more times, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna try the other way. I'm gonna steal a tank and I'm gonna use it to block the road. You would think a tank would slow them down for like a long time. Not really. Like one or two shots, and they can just like drive right on through it. It'll.
That colonel is supposed to be stationed in Sakai village. Where are you going?
He's not there. Let the legend come back to life. Boss, you're a legend for those that live on the battlefield. And you know what? Where is it? Where's the latest plat? I need to update my screen. The latest plat should not say God of War 2. It should say, what platinum did I literally just get? I can't remember. What did I just get? Oh, Black Flag. It was Assassin's Creed. I can't. I literally couldn't remember the platinum I just got. I mean, what? You're not fast enough. Oh. It's this guy. This is the colonel. Oh, I think this is it. Maybe I gotta finish the mission.
You gotta extract him. Good work.
Mission info has been
Oh no.
Support.
Good. You completed the objective. Now get out of there.
Yeah, my helicopter is very strong.
Or on land.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. What better way to end the game than with that flying away in a helicopters that is actually on fire?
Gaining altitude.
It's called Big Boss Demolition Man. If you ever seen that movie. I feel like a stiff breeze could kill us. Okay. We're at 13 minutes, I think. I think that's it. Unless I have severely miscalculated, that's it. I think that 30,000 heroism was for 100% completion.
Amazing. Mission complete. That right there is why why you're the best, boss. The one and only.
Executed. Legend. That's it. That's the platinum. Wow. 13 minutes. I thought it would take a bit longer than that. I was practicing. I was practicing this mission because, like, straight up I forgot that once you complete a mission task, that's it. Like, you don't have to finish the mission. I guess you do have to finish the mission to get the trophy. Maybe you have to finish the mission for it to count towards complete. I don't know. But there was two others where you actually go to the fort and you rescue a prisoner and you look at the intel plans. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do all this other
Why
stuff
are
together.
we still here? Just to suffer. Every night, I can feel my leg.
Where is it? I got one. If I can find it. Where is it? There we go.
And I'm so proud of this community.
Oh my god. We got it. And what a way to end it with an S rank. And Miller saying, amazing, mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss, the one and only. And it conveniently says a total playtime. So we missed 150 hours by about 50 minutes. So, and this is the second time going through. Like I definitely did more than like what I had to. I definitely didn't just like rush from objective to objective. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, but let's pull up that trophy. This is the second platinum trophy in, what, 4 days? This is the second platinum trophy of 2022. Fucking, I'm coming in strong. I was looking back over, like, the platinum trophies I've gotten, like, and there's a few websites that like, do it by year. There was like 2 or 3 years over the last 10 years that I didn't get a single platinum trophy in a year. And now I've got 2 in like 4 days. So that's what we call character development. All right. So I did write some notes because I want to talk about this game. So, all right. All right. And now that I have notes and I'm looking right at them, I'm immediately going to go off script. So I'm going to talk about Metal Gear Solid in general. Like, I'm wearing a fucking Metal Gear shirt, Foxhound. I got 2 Metal Gear posters behind me. So we need to talk about my experience with Metal Gear Solid. So I'm 34 going on 35. So I'm an old son of a bitch. I'm older than the Metal Gear series. But the first Metal Gear I played was Metal Gear Solid 1, probably like most people. And Metal Gear Solid 1 came out when I was 10 years old. I'm sorry, 11 years old. And when it came out, it didn't make a big splash, at least amongst my friends. The way I found out about it was through pizza. Let me explain. So Pizza Hut, once upon a time, had a demo disc. Maybe it was definitely in America. Maybe it was in other places too. But it was like you paid $5 extra with your pizza and you got a demo disc. And this demo disc was like, oof. This demo disc had Crash Bandicoot 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, Final Fantasy 8, Ape Escape, or Ape Escape 2, one of the Ape Escapes, and Metal Gear Solid. On one disc, those 5 games. There might have been more too. And Metal Gear Solid, you could play a decent chunk of the game. If you ever played Metal Gear Solid, you could play up until you rescue the DARPA chief. So probably going on platinum. Thank you, Hawks. Hey, let's pull it up. Let's look at that. Oof. I don't know why it says 8:07 p.m. I think I think I messed with the internal clock at one point to like speed up something in a game, and I just never changed it back, so it's like an hour ahead. Vest, what's up? You picked a good time to join us. This is the second plat in like 4 days. It's fucking awesome too, man. But anyway, yeah. So my first experience with Metal Gear Solid 1 was the Pizza Hut demo disc, and after that, I got a PlayStation 1. I got the game, and I played the hell out of it. It was the first game I had ever played with voices. Yeah, the past, man, shit was rough. Thank you guys. Thank you guys very much. I I love hunting for platinums and I love streaming, but you guys make it like so much so much more fun. It's so much like I don't know. Like when I wasn't streaming over Christmas, I didn't stream for about 2 weeks, and this is like maybe I've been back a couple days, but I genuinely miss it. And I'm like, yo, man, what's Sumo up to? What's Hawks up to? Because I also didn't have much time to like watch anyone's streams because I was like really busy. But I was like, man, what are they all up to? You know. But yeah, I love you guys. Oh. So let's talk about this game. So I bought a PS4 for this game. I know I just finished it on the PS3, but I bought a PS4 for this game. So if you look at my first trophy, it was September 10th, 2015. So I bought this game for the PS3 and I played about maybe like an hour of it, and I was like, you know what? Because the PS4 had been out for like a year or two, and I was like, let's go for it. So I went out and I bought a PS4 and a PS4 copy of this game because like I love Metal Gear so much. And Metal Gear has been the reason I've bought almost every PlayStation console. I got a PS1 for Metal Gear Solid 1, a PS2 for MGS2, a PS3 for MGS4, bought them on the same day, and a PS4 for MGS5. So PS5 is the first PlayStation console I haven't bought because of a Metal Gear game. I bought it just because, you know, I wanted to be cool. Kingdom Hearts 3 is that reason I got a PS4 back in the day. Kingdom Hearts 3 was one of the reasons I got a PS3, because I thought, yeah, I thought it was coming out a little sooner than it actually did. But here, watch this. Okay, so you have 9/10/2015, okay, 9/10/2015, 4/5/2020. So it took me 5 years to finish like 3 missions. So between this and this, I played through the PS4 version and got the platinum. And I kind of forgot about this. But I love this game. I absolutely adore Metal Gear Solid 5. I know it's a bit controversial, even amongst Metal Gear fans, but I love this game. And I've gotten the platinum twice now for it. And I'm kind of sad, honestly. I'm kind of sad that I have no... What is it? What is that poem by Lord Byron? Is it Lord Byron? Or Shelley? I forget. It's Ozymandias. No, it's not Ozymandias. It's was it Pliny? He's talking about Alexander, and Alexander like weeps because there's nothing left for him to do. He weeps because there's no more lands to conquer, and there's just nothing left, and he is still unsatisfied. I want to play more of this game, but there's not. I have nothing more to do really. I have nothing more to prove. I could speed run it, but you know, I'm not insane. That's not a jab against speedrunners. That's just not my cup of tea. Let me try to adhere to my notes a bit. Okay, so about the game, I'll just talk about the game in general because all I've talked about it so far is superlatives. This game, the amount of ways you can interact with the environment and the amount of ways you can like make things happen is ridiculous. Time to get an Xbox and the achievements for it. Hey, you might be onto something there. You might be onto something there. I'll just replace the platinum trophy that Gunter has a little thing for in my scene. I'll just replace that with oh, I wasn't recording. Oh well. I'll just replace that with 1,000 gamer score or something. I don't know. Or the G with the little thing in. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck Microsoft uses. Damn. I guess I'm just gonna have to download the VOD. I can edit the VOD though without mixing the audio. I need to make it so it auto records every time I like start the stream. There's gotta be a way to do that. Like make a bot to do that. Anyway, the amount of ways you can interact with the environment and the amount of ways you can interact with the guards is ridiculous here. Just off the top of my head, 1, you can shoot them. 2, you can like make noise to draw them to other areas. 3, you can hold them up. In other words, you sneak up behind them, point a gun at them, and hold them up. Then you can make them call their people to them. You can choke them out. You can slam them to the ground. You can envelop them in smoke so they can't see you, and then you can like choke them out. You can throw a sleep grenade. You could throw out a decoy and have that decoy speak because you have like an active decoy, and they'll go to the decoy, and you can make that decoy stun them if you want, because they're probably going to get mad that they got fooled by it, and they're going to stab it, and then it's going to stun them. You can set up sleeping gas mines around decoys and just like throw decoys out everywhere, and they'll end up putting themselves to sleep. You can booby trap bodies. You could like stun somebody, like, and then put like a sleeping gas mine next to them, and then when the people are like, "Hey, what's that?" and they walk over, it puts them to sleep. And while they're asleep, you can tell D-Dog to extract them. Like, just, you're only limited by your creativity. Or you could just call in your helicopter, and your helicopter just kills everybody. Or you could call in an airstrike, and the airstrike takes care of it. Or you can call in your support team to change the weather. That's a thing you can do. And forcibly initiate a sandstorm. Like, let's say you're in an area and there's just tons of enemies everywhere, and you just don't want to deal with it. You can call your boys in and have them start a sandstorm. You throw in your NVGs, and you can see just fine. And if you want to, you can go around and just knock everybody out and then Fulton them away. And you don't even have to worry about stealth. Like, you're only limited by your imagination. And the in-game currency, but the game, unless you're developing and like unless you're developing Mother Base and developing like super strong weapons all the time, you're probably not going to run out of GMP. The game gives you a lot just for like getting through the story. You don't really have to farm it unless you're crazy like me and want to build up your online fobs and stuff like that. But you're only limited by your creativity. There's so many cool things you can do. Oh yeah, I even forgot. The so in the beginning of the game, Snake loses an arm and he gets like a prosthetic arm. This arm can become like a rocket punch. Like, you fire your arm and it's almost like a ranged stun, because for whatever reason the enemies never see this fist flying at them. You can punch an enemy, any enemy, even heavily armed ones, and they'll go down like a sack of bricks. They don't stay down that long, but you have a ranged stun that works on even the most heavily armored enemies. It's pretty wild. Also, Cardboard Box. Cardboard Box can do some crazy things too. If you collect posters with like half naked women on them and put them on the box and just kind of like stand there, literally every guard in the game is male. The only females you're going to find are prisoners. You know, it's kind of sexist, but the guards will see the box and they'll run up to it and they'll see it's a half naked woman, and they'll throw down their guns and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so," and then of course you can choke them out because you're in the box, and then knock them out. So, you know, use a box to take people out. Like, you're only limited by your creativity and you can bring stuff into a mission with you. Not the mission I just did, because you can't have anything, but you can also call in air supply, or you can call in supplies whenever you want. It costs you a little bit of money, but I mean, you're probably not going to run out of money. I've never played a game that gives you so many options to like deal with things. And if you don't care, you can just say screw it and just go in with like a bunch of rocket launchers and just blow everybody to hell. Sourdough, what's up? Yeah, the Spanish keyboard. But yeah. And the game gives you ample reason to like use these creative ways. Like, the missions, there's 50 of them, and they're all fairly unique. Well, most of them are. Some of them are kind of retreads of past missions, but they at least put a new spin on them. They're like, okay, do it without being seen. Okay, now all the enemies have rocket launchers, and they're all like way stronger. Okay, do it without going in with any equipment. Do it with using just what you find in the environment. Like, it varies it up enough that it doesn't get boring. Side ops. Let me 500,000 GMP. I'm never gonna use. Damn. Oh, we got close to 1 million heroism. But yeah, there's about 50 main missions. You have to S rank all of them. You're probably not gonna S rank them the first time you play them, so that's at least 2 playthroughs of the missions right there. And you also have to complete all the mission tasks. Some of the missions have a lot of mission tasks, and they're very specific. So you're looking at probably 3 to 4 playthroughs of each mission. So that's like 200 runs of each mission. There you go. Oh, thank you for the hydrate and the stretch.
Why are we still here?
Because I gotta talk about it.
Just to suffer.
We're here because I gotta talk about it.
Night,
Oh,
I can feel my leg.
And my arm. They're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? Anyway. I'm not going to talk about the story. Maybe I should. Anyway. Boom. Overall completion 100%. You do have to get that for the platinum. Yeah, there's more than that you have to get. Okay, so the missions. So there's 50 missions, all of which you got to S rank and all of which you got to complete the mission tasks for. Some are easier than others. Honestly, I mean, I've played this game a lot. I've platinumed this game twice, so it's probably hard for me to be like, oh, it's not that hard. For some people, it might be. But there's a handful of missions that I never needed to play again. I got all the mission tasks, and I got the S rank the first time through. And don't be afraid to like change your approach. You develop some cool stuff at Mother Base. Like you develop some really interesting ways to like deal with enemies, like decoys, even something that makes you fucking invisible. There's a few items that restrict your rank, but if you got the S rank and you're just going for mission tasks, you can do whatever you want. Kill people. You can go in with infinite ammo. You can go in with like a stealth suit and just be invisible the whole time. Like you're only literally limited by your creativity. Except for the S ranks. The best way to get S ranks in this game is just do everything fast. Doesn't even really matter if you're seen or not. Ground Zeroes is a bit more strict with S ranks. Like, even if you do things super fast, but if you're seen, you're not going to get enough points to make the S rank. But Phantom Pain is a bit more forgiving. Where is it? Yeah, Skullface. So with Skullface, you have to sneak through this super huge facility with like 30 fucking dudes. And it's really hard to like do it very stealthily because they're just fucking everywhere and they're just like looking everywhere and they're all heavily armored. You could do that, or you could just call in a tank and just drive right through it and just like knock over everybody, because yeah, you'll get seen a ton of times and you'll probably run over someone with the tank so you have kills, but you're just going to finish so fast and the time bonus is going to be so big that it's not going to matter. Also skip the cutscenes. The cutscenes are super long in Skullface and they do count towards your time. But yeah, the main missions, honestly, if you're looking for a challenge and stimulation, the main missions are where you're going to find it. Because the main missions to get the S ranks, some of them are more strict than others. And the mission tasks you have to do, like look at all of them. Like, some of them have 8 or 9 per mission, and there's like 50 of them. And it's sometimes a challenge to figure out, like, okay, how many of these can I do in one go? Or like, okay, like this one. Extracted 7 tanks and 7 armored vehicles. So when this mission starts, you're basically like, along with Quiet, you're like fending off an army of people. So you're like, okay, how do I extract these 7 tanks and 7 armored vehicles? One really good way is weather manipulation, and another good way is using some of the super strong parasite armor suits to just take a few hits from like tanks and stuff like that. But the game just like has this stuff. Like it's not like the game has things that, it's not like the game creates a mission and then creates something to like beat it with. It's like the game just throws out all these crazy things. It's like, hey, what if you had an ability that essentially made you immune to damage for like a little while? Or what if you had a rocket launcher that fired 18 rockets at once? You know? Or what if you could just call in multiple attack helicopters to like blow away your enemies? Wouldn't that be cool? Like it's just nuts the amount of stuff that you can do in this game if you care to explore it. It's not just a trank sniper and a trank pistol all the way through to the end of the game. You'd be bored of tears doing that. That being said, you do want to capture as many people as possible to build up Mother Base. And in that respect, sleep grenades, smoke grenades, decoys, trank snipers, trank pistols, hold-ups, sleep mines, they're all pretty OP. And CQC is OP. CQC will take out literally anybody, even like super heavily armored dudes. There was one time there was like there's like 5 or 6 armored dudes just walking in a line, and all of them had rocket launchers. And the way I took them out was I just ran up to them and just like knocked them all down, because like it's just a super simple way to do it. Just run up and just hit the CQC button and keep hitting it, and you'll take them all out. And then you can just extract them, and boom, too easy, you know. Or you could lay down a mine and then run away, shoot the mine, and kill them all. I mean, that's also a thing you can do. The open world. Yeah, by the way, this game is open world. I barely notice it's open world, honestly. I do like the fact that it is though, because it gives you a lot of options on how you want to approach a base. And do I want to go from the west or the east? Do I want to go north or south? Are there hidden entrances? Are there other ways to sneak in and out that maybe I can use but the guards don't know about? And the more you play, the more you kind of learn um, these infiltration routes. And it's a joy to be able to circumvent like huge amounts of guards and just go straight for the center of the base because like this like hidden entrance or whatever. It really makes you feel like a, you know, mercenary. Uh Nearly endless development options. So you have shotguns with silencers, you have stun rocket launchers, you have sniper rifles that shoot through tanks. There's a lot of crazy stuff you can develop, but a lot of it's pretty expensive. But like every time you play a mission or every time you do a side op, there's a chance to like basically kidnap people from the battlefield with good stats that'll raise the abilities of your mother base. So the more you play and the more people you capture, and you pretty much just want to capture everyone all the time, the better your mother base gets. So like as time goes on, you're building up this like crazy amount of power, and pretty soon you're gonna have a rocket launcher that's just gonna kill almost everything in one hit, or you're gonna have a sniper rifle that's gonna like kill even heavily armored dudes in like one or two hits. And you can even give it to quiet. So now you have two anti-material sniper rifles that are just going to town on everything. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of the base building in this game is the most fun I've ever had with like a base building aspect in any game. I think Ni no Kuni 2 comes close, but in terms of like building this place up and making it a force to be reckoned with, like I just adore it. It's so much fun to develop these super strong weapons that you don't really need to complete the main game and get the platinum. But it's nice to know that like, you know, you're basically your own army at this point. Like in the beginning of the game, you have like a couple cardboard boxes. Oh, I can't develop anymore. Like in the beginning of the game, you have like a couple cardboard boxes. You might have a handgun or two and like an AK. And by the end of the game, you have like a fucking. By the end of the game, you have like nuclear weapons and stuff. You really do. It's almost like an RPG for military freaks. All right, so I talked about the game enough, I think. Let's talk about the platinum. This is one of the best platinums I've ever gotten.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Colonel. I love that one. I need to add more of them. I think half of the sound clips are like Metal Gear clips. Oh, where is it? There it is. There we go.
We've managed to avoid drowning.
Drowning. If you're a fan of platinum trophies and you like to go after platinum trophies, this one's a good one. This is a good one because it does what a platinum trophy should do, and it makes you see more of the game and learn more about it. This platinum trophy is there's no difficulty trophies in this game. There's only one set difficulty. Although some of the missions are harder versions of other missions, like they're not really harder. It's just they're just different. Like the enemies get more firepower, but if you're never seen, it doesn't matter. The difficulty in Metal Gear games is kind of odd sometimes, because if you're never seen and you're always stealthy, it doesn't matter. Now some Metal Gear games you play them on extreme, like the bosses become these like cliffs or these like insurmountable like difficulty spikes. But the individual enemies, while they are stronger, you can just avoid them entirely. There's very few bosses in this game, but just the sheer amount of variety of like sneaking opportunities is just there's basically two bosses in this whole game. There's the Man on Fire, which you don't have to beat; you can just find a way to run away from him, and Sahelanthropus. And Sahelanthropus is like towards the end of the game. Well, it's really in the middle, but like it's pretty close. Like by then you've been playing for like dozens of hours, And hopefully you've been developing some pretty strong weaponry, so you can take Sahelanthropus down, because the trank pistol ain't gonna work on Sahelanthropus. It's like this giant Gundam-like mech. But now you get an excuse to just use all that firepower you've been developing this whole time, or just call in a bunch of support helicopters that take it out, and you just sit back and have a sandwich or two. But there's not one way to like get this platinum. There's not like one way to like beat these missions. You're really only limited by your creativity and what you like understand and know about the game. There's ways to cheese it, but like you do have to have a bit of skill and a bit of creativity to like get through this platinum. And if you go for this platinum, you'll probably be going through like the missions and probably maybe the side ops too. And like, how do I do this? And you might look up a video online, and you'll see someone doing something you had no idea you could do, and you're like, holy crap, I can do that. And now you've added a tool to your repertoire. It's a wonderful platinum. It makes you see more of the game. It makes you really go in depth to the mechanics. It makes you figure out the different ways you can manipulate the enemy AI. It's a joy. It's wonderful. It's right up there with MGS2 Platinum, and the degree to which the VR missions make you appreciate the mechanics of the game and how deep they really are. That being said, there's basically one trophy that's kind of bullshit, and that's the animal trophy. So these animals are invisible. Most of them are. You basically go into an area, you put down a capture cage, call in the helicopter, you fly away, and then while you're flying away, animals wander into this capture cage, and they're sent back to your base. These animals they basically don't exist. There's like a little picture of them when they get captured, and that's it. If you go to the base where they're supposed to be held at, they're not there. And you never see them out in the wild, so you can't just like hunt them down. They just kind of wander into your capture cages, hopefully, and then you can check them off a checklist. There's no skill involved. There's no variety. There's only one enemy that's sort of like a boss fight, and that's like the bears, because you have to take down the bears non-lethally to capture them, obviously. But it really is just, hey, did you bring big enough boots to this fight? Yeah, okay, you're all right then. Like, there's no way to like sneak up on a bear and like choke him out. Like, you have to fight it, does it? So the animal trophy, that could have gotten removed, honestly. I mean, the animals give you GMP, they give you like money, but they're just so random. It's such a in-game concept that has nothing to do with anything else. It's just so vague, and it's frustrating. But if you're watching this video and you're going to go for the platinum, if you're playing through it right now, every single mission and every single side op, the first thing you do is put down a bunch of cages. Do your mission, do your side op, and call in a helicopter and fly away. Don't just abort back to the ACC. And you'll probably get a ton of gerbils, a ton of bats, but every now and then you'll get a really rare animal that would have taken you hours if you waited until the end of the game to do it. Save the animals for last, or like one of the last things you do. Once you get to the end of the game, and if you've been doing that the whole time, you're probably only going to need maybe 4 or 5 animals left. And hopefully they're animals in very specific places you never went to, and they're not just random animals that can spawn anywhere. And just go there and GG. It'll be quick and painless. But if you wait until the end of the game to start animals, holy shit, you probably got a dozen hours of farming animals ahead of you, and you're probably going to hate this game. So take my advice and do the animals as soon as possible. Or just start doing them as soon as possible. Oh yeah, and if you want to get this game on the PS3, you better do it in a few months, because the servers are shutting.
You can deploy a buddy from the ACC before
What?
the mission.
Oh, I pressed L1.
Think carefully about the mission's objectives before
If you want to get the platinum for the PS3 version, you basically have 3 months to do it, because after that the server shut down, and you won't be able to get. I want to say there's 3 trophies that are multiplayer only, but beyond that, online resources and online abilities, or online like fobs, help a lot when it comes to developing Mother Base and making stronger items for you. Yeah, basically in about 4 or 5 months time, this platinum will be unattainable, because the servers will be shut down. So if it's sitting on your shelf, or if you have 1 or 2 trophies in it, get those online trophies out of the way now. You do have to play through a bit of the game before online becomes available, so Maybe make this your next platinum. I don't know. Also, developing a nuke. There's a trophy for developing a nuke, and also a trophy for destroying a nuke. The best way to do this by far. Well, first you gotta like damn near beat the game to get the ability to develop a nuke. It takes a ton of resources, and it also takes 24 hours to make. I think you can push that down to 21 hours. By far the best way to do it is to develop it online, because then you don't have to play for 21 hours. Develop it online and like set an alarm for when it's going to be finished, and log in right before it's going to be done, and the second it's done, dismantle it. Because there's people out there that are going nuts, especially now because the servers are about to die and they're trying to hunt down nukes left and right. So if you let that nuke sit there for about 10 minutes, someone's going to break into your fob and take it. And you don't want that. Which is why online trophies shouldn't be a thing. I mean, this game was borderline abandoned the second they released it. The online is like a rotating. So like there's no DLC for this game, but there is robust online. So there's a lot of online content, but it's like you just farm a ridiculous amount of materials and money to build like slightly stronger weapons, and they can get pretty strong, and you can also develop stronger armor too. Like if you have these like stronger weapons, the game is a fucking cakewalk. The actual game is a cakewalk. The reason you would do this is for like the online fob aspect. You can basically build other bases that get resources for you while you're not even playing, but they're subject to attack. Other players can attack them, and those other players probably have really strong weapons. So ideally, you have really strong weapons too. Like it's almost this kind of like arms race in the online fob community that disregards like the main game. And these people are, I mean, there's every game you can imagine, there's someone out there that plays it every day, you know, and there's quite a few people that still play this game every day. It's an awesome game. I don't blame them. But yeah, if you're going to get this trophy, develop a nuke, and the second it's done, dismantle it. Just dismantle it right away, because it's significantly easier to dismantle your own nuke than to actually like go and get one. Especially now, when people have been playing this game for years and years and years, and everyone's fobs are like maxed out, and you're just starting. Like, it's going to be incredibly difficult if you try to go steal someone else's nuke at this point. Just dismantle your own nuke. It's fine. You don't have to dismantle another player's nuke, thank God. And honestly, not many. You can't control who you infiltrate. It just kind of randomly gives you an option of who you want to infiltrate. You can't infiltrate certain people. You can't like target people. The online just gives you an option of like, hey, here's 10 fobs you can infiltrate that are around your level, you know. But anyway, this is my second time platinuming the game, and nothing really tested me much. Second time around, it wasn't that difficult. The toughest parts were probably quiet on extreme, just because the sheer amount of times I had to play through it to get all the mission tasks. Back up, back down, because I hate it. I hate that mission. There's so many moving parts to it, and you have to move so fast and so stealthily through the battlefield. It's a nightmare. I think it took me like 2 whole streams to completely finish, like 4 or 5 hours on just 2 missions. Yeah. So yeah, back up, back down was probably the worst part. And listening to all the conversations. So a handful of mission tasks require you to listen to conversations. When you listen to conversations, you have to be close enough to hear them, but not close enough that you cause an alert. And if you're too far away, even if you're using like the directional microphone, they sometimes just don't trigger. So by far the easiest way to get these optional, or not optional, to hear these conversations, is to S-rank the mission first. Go back in with your stealth camo so you're invisible, and wear a sneaking suit so you don't make sound, and just stand right there and listen to their conversations. And sometimes it still kind of bugs out, but that's the best way I found to do it. This platinum, let's look up, took me about 150 hours. Yeah, it's been about 20 minutes now since I got it, so the playtime keeps going. I completed 145 missions, so basically every mission about 3 times. I think I definitely did back up, back down way more than 3 times, and I had to complete Quiet's mission at least 7 times to get her back. So yeah. And 0 missions completed with a chicken cat. Ooh, perk stealth, no kills. 50 missions completed. I'm just awesome. What can I say? I killed 1 guy with a knife. Never killed anyone with a shotgun or a submachine gun. Only killed 2 people with a machine gun. I killed 2 people with D-Horse. What? I didn't kill anyone with D-Dog. 145 people with Quiet. I only killed 146 people the entire time. But I neutralized almost 5,000. So the vast majority of my interactions with enemies were non-lethal. How many people did I kidnapped 6,000 people from the battlefield, and I fired almost 3,000 of them. And I spent 268 million GMP and completed over 1,000 dispatch missions. Boom, 100%. Yeah, so I did a lot. There's a lot of content to this game. This game is a beast, but it's a good kind of beast. It's not like just an endless series of fetch quests. Like there's a bit of thinking involved with almost all of these missions, and they don't just hand these missions to you. Like you really got to figure out who is where and who is what, and you're probably gonna have to retry a few times until you finally figure out a decent route that works for you. But once you get it, oh my god, oh, I love it. I love it so much. And there are markers that tell you generally where to go, but very rarely will they just like tell you where to go to like find something. They might give you like an area, probably because it's like an open world game, and they might be like, hey, it's somewhere on this base, you know. So okay, find some guy and interrogate him. Maybe he knows, you know, or maybe he knows who does know. This is my favorite Metal Gear Solid in terms of gameplay. Not my favorite Metal Gear Solid overall, but in terms of gameplay and just the skill involved, I think it's the best. I love it. And I'm kind of sad that I'm not gonna. Well, I'll probably play it again every now and then, but like the journey's over. Like I have there's 2 versions of this game. There's a PS3 version and a PS4 version, and they're the same across all regions. There's not a separate trophy list for Europe or Japan or Australia. There's just the one trophy list for PS4 and one trophy list for PS3. And Metal Gear Solid 5 is just done at this point. Like there's the platinum for the PS3 version. This is 100% for Ground Zeroes on PS4 and PS3, and there's platinum for the PS4 version. So all of it's done. Honestly, I never thought I would even complete one of these versions, let alone both of them. But here I am. It's an awesome game. It's an awesome game, even if you're not a fan of Metal Gear. The story is a bit disjointed. The story's a bit of a mess, but that's because heads were rolling behind the scenes at Konami when they were trying to finish this game, and they were just trying to like scotch tape together something that was sort of presentable and sort of resembled a plot and sort of worked. But the gameplay is solid enough that I usually don't pay that much attention to the story when I'm playing through it, which seems like sacrilege for a Metal Gear game. But the story is not. The story is not the appeal this time. It really isn't. It's the gameplay. It's an absolute joy to play, and you owe it to yourself to check it out. I can't think of a better way to end it than that.